Hi and welcome to Bears and Games. Today we're looking at a game that I got suggested to try by a listener. I had to wait for a bit for it to go down to a reasonable price, but here we go with Codemaster's epic sort of action RPG, Rise of the Argonauts. Oh god, that big video logo is terrible. It does use the Unreal Engine in possibly one of its, well, you'll see, not great uses. And there's the usual splash screen of all the copyrights. So, Rise of the Argonauts. What does that make you think of? Rise, that's a good word. Rise of the Dragon was good. Rise of the Triads was good. Here it is. It's the Argonauts. You might remember them. It was this whole story this one guy did about some people that get on a boat or something. And you'll notice it has very slow-paced cutscenes. In fact, I find they're only watchable if you really speed them up about 300-400%. Even then, they're still kind of laggy and boring. It's a major problem with this game, actually, because, well, let's have a look at why the game isn't good, in spite of some of its homoerotic nature. And part of it, honestly, is the cutscenes. I mean, look at this. This is sped up 300%. You can hear that from the voices. And it's still long and boring and poorly animated. Oh, she got shot in the heart. Oh, now he's single. Kind of looks, I don't know, Quebecois or something. Doesn't look very Greek. And there's some bad guys. You can see they're lithe and mean looking. And so we're off. Oh, you'll see behind me is one of the reasons I was told to play the game. Mr. Hercules or whichever is the Greek way of saying it. So this game sort of plays a bit like God of War or, you know, its derivatives, or the previous, what's that one called with the demons, you know what I'm talking about, with Dante or whatever his name is. Oh, and it's very gory. So, there you go. It's got the strong attacks, it's got the weak attacks, it's got combos. Oh, and there's your friend again. Look at him. You know, I had someone tell me that he wasn't hot and he was just gross, but, you know, for a depiction of Hercules, I think he might be the hottest. Although, I think the guy who told me that had a thing for the Disney version. So, yeah, it's a hack and slash with blocks, plays a lot like Gears of War, plays a lot like that game whose name is escaping me right now. Devil May Cry, that's the one I'm thinking of. There's some slow motion severings. Lots of people throwing themselves in front of arrows for you. You play King Jason, as he might have just said. I like that armor. The armor kind of fits nice. I'd wear some armor like that. And there's Hercules. Oh, I haven't sped up this this cutscene, so you can see some great pacing there. Oh, he's fine. Man, look at those hands. I want hands like that. See, there you go, sped up, bit more normal pacing. And then there's once again slow, still slow, even at 400% here. The gods aren't too hot either. For a game based on Greek mythology, you'd hopefully have some hot gods, but you can do with semi-god heroes like this guy. Those hands are okay. I know they're kind of veiny, but I have a thing for big hands, and those look like some mighty large hands. And I do like his facial hair too. He looks kind of like a dirty biker. They give him nice nipples. And poor Hercules can't do these wonderful jumps.
I'll circle around. Meet you at the front.
Sure will. Otherwise, there's this kind of not super hot bearish guy. He reminds me a bit of the Oliver Platt character in Year Zero, which I'm sure you watched because so many people watched Year Zero. And he is kind of veiny. Now, here's one of my problems with the game: is the animation. It looks like the Thunderbirds. If you remember the puppets, the British puppets. From the 60s, where they only really animated or move the jaw. Oh, and here's one of my main problems with the game is there's nothing. There's huge areas with nothing but some fences, nothing to look at really, nothing, no one really to talk to. They're just big empty rooms. Occasional bits of dialogue might pop up, and there might be one person or a marker that sort of tells you a little bit about the location. But they've made this game with giant locations where there's nothing to do. And that's just really bizarre. And it has a lot of the BioWare style dialogue trees, which would be cool. And in fact, like, I love games with lots of dialogue, but the dialogue is so slow and the conversation's so stilted that you just want it to be sped up so much to enjoy it. Look at her. Even your conversation with Madonna is boring.
They are attuned to you, Jason. Only you can remove them. As long as they remain active, neither I nor...
They repeat the same thing over and over in different ways, and the space between each line is so slow that you get very sleepy. Oh, and also, the game's broken on me several times, which is always cool. Like, the camera will get stuck, and you'll try to walk around and make it move again, and nope. You better hope that it auto-saved somewhere close to there. So the story is basically the story of the Jason and the Argonauts, so no real surprises there. And they really play it straight. They play it with a lot of unearned gravitas, so everyone's really stoic and no one's having a sense of humor, and the sense of humor that is there is that kind of awkward sense of humor that isn't actually all that funny, that you see in sort of bad 60s cartoons. Like, this game takes itself so damn seriously that no one smiles and no one has fun. It's sort of like 300, only without the neato special effects and the leather briefs. Okay, there might be some leather briefs in this. Even the statue, you'd hope that a big burly statue would be hot, but as it pans up, you get increasingly disappointed by the kind of He-Man figure-like physique. I kind of use that as a metaphor for the entire game. It starts off alright, and the combat is actually fun. Like, I don't mind God of War style combat, and this one isn't particularly broken. You got some different weapons, you got some magic abilities. It has an interesting level up mechanic where your experience, what you use to level up is your achievements in the game, which is a cool idea. Oh yeah, here, the gladiatorial stuff. This guy, who sort of looks like that poet from Oz, or the guy from The Matrix 2 and 3, has made you some sexy gladiator armor. They've managed to make a game with gladiator combat not particularly interesting and not all that homoerotic. I mean, all you got here is the fact that he's wearing kind of leather gear, and that's about it. You can't make a whole Bears and Games episode about that. They've avoided any gayness by just playing it so straight and not having any fun with it that there's really nothing to talk about. Well, there is this guy. I guess he's sort of hot if he were better animated and had a haircut.
My people want blood. Blood for blood.